Moving on to agenda item 4, the chairman's report. We're coming up on the 2015 AACC National Legislative Summit, which happens every February. And I believe
ACCT.
that's listed on here incorrectly.
Yeah.
Thank you. ACCT. It's even in the notes incorrectly.
Yeah, it is.
I know that President Weber is attending. I'm sure that the majority of trustees are also attending. This goes February 9th through 12th in Washington. This is our opportunity to meet with all of our legislators, typically individually, sometimes in a group. But it's important for us to be able to go in there and express what our needs and goals are and what we see as the best things that they can work on for the college. It always is helpful for them to see and talk to us individually and independently because they realize that we're real people with real needs. So we will have a report at the February board meeting regarding what went on while we were there. 2015 board meeting dates. We were notified that the ICCTA lobby day is going to be April 29th, which is Wednesday. And usually we meet with our legislators the evening before, which has been an on-again, off-again attendance type of thing because there's so many events going on that night that they don't always come and get together with us. But we also have a board meeting scheduled for April 28th, and we're required by statute to hold that board meeting within a specific period of time because of the April election.
And what's the window on that?
Well, that's what we're checking on.
On or before 28 days.
On or before
28 days.
Mm-hmm.
So
a possibility would be to hold it that Monday that week. We could hold it Wednesday night, so you come back from Springfield, you hold it that night. Those are possibilities. And then, of course, any time up to 25th or so.
Well,
We want to find a time where everyone
Right.
could attend, so why don't we poll you? We'll take each of the eligible dates, we'll poll all of you. That's a meeting where you do your reorganization, so we want to make sure all 7 of you can be there. So we'll work on that over the next couple of weeks.
if you have any other suggestions as to how to do that, when the call around is made for the polling, please feel free to go ahead and make that suggestion.
Let me, if I could, Madam Chairman, let me ask you this. Is there any interest in the board? I know we've done this before, for example, when we got the science building on the list. Remember, it was teetering off the list. All of us went down there. The lobbyist arranged a meeting, and we went around, talked to the folks, and that was quite successful. Is there an interest in going earlier and having our own sort of lobby day, or do you want to keep? I think because of the baccalaureate degree that may come up and some of the other options, it may be important to participate in ICCTA.
Is that something that would be easier discussed in the poll also, to see what people think about that, or is that something that you want to discuss right now during the during the chairman's report?
Well, during lobby day, there is the trustees meeting, so
Yeah,
Right.
we have that at the same time.
that's true too.
And also usually we get beat up. We usually get beat up by the park districts.
Oh, yeah,
The
next
last 3 years we've
yeah.
gotten beat up.
Oh, on the dinner
On the
beforehand?
dinner, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we have changed days, we might not get beat up by them this time.
Well, we'll check with Mike Monahan on all the timing around that. We'll call around to all of you and get your options, and we'll try to sort this out.
Park districts must be providing better food or something.
They're at a country club.
Ah, okay.
They're all
We're not at a country club.
That explains
And
it.
they have much better food and drink.
Okay.
And they're all together.
And they're all together,
So it
yes.
makes it very easy. You can see everyone in the whole state. So,
Yes.
I mean, I think there's a cautionary tale there,
Yeah.
in a way. There's strength in numbers.
Yep, because we try to put this thing on every year and then attendance is low.
It worked last year,
It
though.
did,
Last year was
actually,
better.
We worked
but
with
then
Harper.
we
Right.
joined with Harper, and I
Yeah.
think that was better. We also invited Oakton, but maybe we ought to, I'll talk to some of our colleagues, maybe we want to
Yes.
do some larger, given the
Yeah.
issues that are on the table.
Last year was better.
We might want to
Cheaper
stay
for
away
us.
from College of DuPage.
That's probably a good idea.
I said some of our colleagues, but anyway.
Well, I thought it was because Ender did such a good job over there.
Well, Ender did just have the governor at his place, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yep,
Right.
Yep.
Yep,
And they were well.
for the new tech center. Yep. Okay, moving on.
Before we move on, Madam Chairman,
Excuse
I'd
me.
like, before we move on.
Sure.
Can I add a point?
Absolutely.
Depending on whether or not, what day we have the meeting, I'd like to take into account that whether or not I run for student trustee again, the new student trustee will be inducted during the April meeting. So
Right.
I feel like we should take that into account on the day, and whether or not they will be attending the lobby.
I think the student lobby day is the same day that combined it.
Yeah, student lobby day is the same day as
Excuse me.
ours.
Yep.
When's the student trustee election?
Student trustee election, I believe, is in March.
Oh,
So.
It's a
well, I-
C-lection by the student government, correct?
that's-
election, right.
Okay.
Presumably, we could just do the meeting the week before, like the board meeting on Tuesday before.
Yeah, if we'd have to check.
As long as we're within the
Well, you
statute.
thought you can't, it's got to be, I thought it was the 28th through the 50th, you said.
I thought it's on or before 28 days after the election.
It's on or before 28 days.
Before 28 days means.
So what is the actual
Well, you're
date for the
subject to
window?
the canvassing, so we'll need to talk to Lake County Clerk's
Yeah,
office.
you
about
need to
the
make sure
canvassing.
they've ratified the
Yeah,
election
yeah,
results.
I see.
That's all you're
Yeah,
subject
That's why I
to.
saw that. But
Well,
I-
we do the canvassing.
Canvas is usually.
Well,
right afterwards. It's
they
4
have to
days.
ratify it.
Yeah, they have to ratify the
Yeah, we
election
do the
results.
canvass.
So if you have up to 28 days to get this done, that's why I'm thinking.
So, as soon as we have all the legal issues worked out, then we'll be able to figure out where we're going from there.
Madam Chair.
A question. We're talking about the numbers, and there is strength in numbers. Is there any coordinated effort going to Washington with this ACCT event for the community colleges in Lake County or community college in Illinois? Is there a coordinated effort?
Typically, our Illinois contingent does coordinate, and we do work together on a lot of things when we're there.
We'll be holding a statewide meeting with both Senators Durbin and Kirk as the Illinois delegation. And then when we do our individual congressmen, then we usually just group together, like the state coordinator goes with our.
Plus, our ICCTA leaders are there, and they coordinate the whole group, too.
We also have an Illinois caucus when we're there as well.
And just by way of history, is there maybe one event or one result that we can speak to as like sort of the waiver of the trustees going to Washington DC, coming back with some victory? Any
Yeah.
history that you're,
Yeah,
that
well,
proves to be beneficial?
They
For us-
typically don't decide anything while we're there. I mean, obviously, we're there to bend their ear and let them know where we want things to go and to get a feel for what they think about what our agendas are, but
Well, let me give an example, maybe near and dear to our heart. So we are finishing up a TAA grant, 3 of them actually, one that we're the administrator for, and a couple others we're involved in. That issue was on the table, and the community colleges all supported when President Obama proposed that for community colleges. So those are the kind of issues. Now, did the fact that we went there automatically connect to that? No, but I mean, where it may have. But certainly going there and lobbying for that position was helpful for us to say that we need it, to be able to talk to our legislators, to thank them for that proposal, to tell them how it's impacted us. I think that's a good thing in general.
And just to piggyback on that, is there one item that you would like, if I'm into focus, is there one item that you would like to see done as a result of this contingency going to Washington DC? I mean, it seems like it's a it's a very busy town and everybody has a separate agenda. Do we have one combined voice for this
The
particular?
ICCTA,
For this particular?
For CLC.
For just
Yeah.
CLC.
So Nick Kelly, ours, prepares a set of position paper, a set of positions, and that's what we take in. There'll be 2 or 3 major positions, and we'll focus on those in our discussions. The board members will then talk, and often, for example, if there's something that involves Pell Grants, et cetera. I'll give you another example. A couple of years ago, we all, many of us lobbied about the issue of excluding adult education students who are transitioning from the Pell Grant. That was one of the items, and now they've loosened that up again. So I think hearing those voices and often hearing from students and trustees, I think it has an impact overall.
we had a couple of years ago, we had a student trustee come and actually give part of the presentation to the legislators about the issue of funding and Pell Grants and what the cutbacks were doing regarding his specific situation. And the educators really, the elected officials really listened. To them, it was important to hear directly from a student as to what that impact was. So those are the kinds of things we do when we're there.
So the trip is next week? Or the week?
2 weeks.
Nick, do we have a position paper for the top 3 now?
There's actually about 6 items. It's developed, and you will receive it on Friday.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Revised board policies.
Can I just ask a question as long as we're talking about what we're going to be pushing for? As part of those 6 is the free tuition for community colleges addressed. Are we going to be talking about that?
I have a section regarding the free tuition, yes. And the rating system, which is another.
I didn't want to go into that now, but we
There's-
can
there's
talk
some-
about that, but the rating,
the ones that-
that's
Yeah,
another
I just
issue
wanted
we
to know
have.
what was on the
Yeah,
list.
I want to express
I
it.
think that is a major
It
issue.
is,
So
it
it's-
is.
It's a major issue for us and all community colleges, but it could result in some harmful outcomes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very bothersome.
As you were told in the update, we've given you a copy of the revised board policies. You don't have to look at them now, but legal counsel reviewed them all, went through them. The vice chair and I kind of have had a preliminary look at them. The reason that they were revised was to make sure that they're in compliance with the current statutory provisions in the Community College Act as well as with the Open Meetings Act. And the revisions that are in there reflect current board practices. We removed, or our council removed, sections that were procedural in nature. Some of these policies haven't been updated since the 1970s, so the next step is for each of you to review them and then get any questions or concerns you may have back to Derek by February 13th. And then he will talk to executive staff and legal counsel about your concerns, and we'll put together something that we can have for a first reading when they can be presented then at the next board meeting. So Derek's, you're going to email everybody an electronic copy also?
Correct.
Don't drop your iPad. Okay. Other than that, the chairman's report has nothing more to add, so I'd ask our student trustee, Anabella Tidei, to report on CLC student activities.
And would you like my entry for the January meeting report as well?
Yes.
I'll begin with the January board report. So the Student Government Association hosted the Faculty Continental Breakfast to welcome the returning faculty for the spring semester, and that was greatly appreciated, and we were thanked. We continue our efforts to recruit senators, and we'll be continuing our class visits this semester to make faculty and students aware of the leadership opportunities and other involvement on campus when one becomes a student senator. Now, for campus and student life, Program Board hosted Welcome Week for returning students with fun activities, resources, and giveaways. And fillable full-time and part-time faculty award nomination forms are now available online, making the process more accessible to the student body. Spirit Night is being currently hosted in the gym with free admission and popcorn with chances for students to win prizes all night long. The first 100 students will receive a free Lancers t-shirt. Now, the Success at CLC conference will feature motivational speakers, workshops, and faculty panels for students to attend with a raffle for a laptop and other prizes available.